grace of God, we will win, and the people of Burma will be free. And I invite you today to this event. Please enjoy, but please spend your money too for the fundraising as well to help the people in Burma. Let's start our program. My name is Zobui. I'm from Mizo community member, but today the community are united. We come here as one nation. May we stand in our one strength and fight all together. And I'd like to open the program with opening prayer, inviting Reverend Jeffet Lien, and right after this we'll sing national anthem led by Miss Holly Zatiel. And I'd like to welcome the Reverend Jeffet Lien to the stage, please.
มีพุนประคดกันเสรอีอามาเบียบตูมีพุนกันเสรตูบอยปานามินเทียงทั้งทัศกาวเสตูชุนตูนีจานากันรำกันโดดนักกันมีพุนกันตัวอินนักเวลเตจูบอยปานังมานุกุจงอัจเชียอินตูชุนกันโปรแกรมมาหินทราวอินกันเตลปีโลกันทินลุงอาหินนังมานิเรียนรงจวนโลกันตัวเสรนักเวลเตเฮกันรำดำนักกันมีพุนดำนักสิกาวเสตทากันจำกุจงกันรักอินชันบอมกันรักอินฮัลกันปีนลำกันฟวยเกาตูชุนฮิกากันโปรแกรมซงอารามินาดองเทียงนังมานิกันเตลปีอินหิมเตอินจานกันมันตรเกาเตียกันบอยปาจิสุคริมินเทียงอินลุงล้อมเตอินทากันจำกันเบียกมีกันปะเทียนอาเมน
For not introducing our the Honourable Michael Sukar for your presence here. We thank you for all the time that you've given us and your support, your continuous support as well. And we're waiting for the Honourable David Hodgetts as well. He will be joining us later this afternoon. I'd like to invite Miss Holly Zatiel for National Anthem and right after, followed by Miss Dim Dim for us. Opening and welcome speech asulai ngun tilian tini akan ngai piak lai ma di chun followed by zogam o Mr. Haupi Pau Kek sinin kan ngai nak chan selai. Now I'd like to welcome Mr. Ngun Tintia for opening and welcome speech.
My name is Ngun Thong Lien. Madam Chairperson, the Honorable Michael Sukar, Honorable David Hodgetts, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people, the traditional custodians of the land in which we have this meeting taken place. I would like to pay my respect to their elder past, present, and the emerging. Today, we are here in solidarity with the people of Myanmar, whose basic rights of freedom to live peacefully in their own God's-given land has been dismantled, whose rights of freedom to express their concerns has been taken away and responded with bullets, whose dearly loved ones, high school students, university students, parents, hard workers, young girls were shot dead by the most brutal, inhuman regime in the modern civilized world. Snipers, tanks, jets, fighters openly fired in broad daylight to the unarmed, peaceful protesters. On the fateful day of the 1st of February 2021, Senior General Min Aung Hlaing and his military loyalties arrested the democratically elected leader Daw Aung San Suu Kyi and her colleagues, imprisoned them and took power over the country. It was a fateful day because young democracy in Myanmar disappeared and was replaced with military rule again. The people of Myanmar understand very well what it looks like to live under the military regime. It is hell and sun. There are no laws, and the people have no rights. The constitution is just a piece of paper, and the military generals are the law themselves. Everything they said is more powerful than the written law. People live under fear every day, and even a simple military uniform creates fear in people's life. No one wants to live such a life, and neither do the people of Myanmar. Today is 48 days since the military took power. The people of Myanmar are demanding very simple, just two things. Give us back our freedom to live in peace, and just give us back our democracy, which we have taken granted in this country. Just demanding the very basic human rights, the people protest peacefully. This inhuman, illegal military used firearms, heavy weapons, jet fighters, and shot peaceful protesters in broad daylight. Until today, over 600 peaceful protesters have lost their lives already. Today we are here to support these brave people of Myanmar as they demand their very basic human rights. So this event today is special. All the dollars you have spent will go to support the people back in Myanmar as they protest peacefully. Many are public servants. They stop to go to office because they no longer want to work under the military regime. They have been fired from their jobs. Their families members have died during the protest. They cannot even work for their living anymore. We do not know how long they will need to go through this hell. Friends, your participation today is meaningful. All the foods, clothes sold at the gate are donated by our well-wishers from our community so that the people in Myanmar will have some food to eat and survive. Finally, but not the least, on behalf of the whole Chin and Burmese community, we would like to say a big thanks to the people of Australia for welcoming us. Australia became our adopted country. We made our home here and live in peace. We do not have any fear that men in uniform will come in the middle of the night and knock our doors. Once we were refugees in our own homeland, but you welcome us and you have let us make this country our home. We are so thankful to the government of Australia for standing with the people of Myanmar in these very critical hours and time of crisis. As we come here together today, please enjoy all our programs as well as everything. Your presence here is meaningful and we welcome every one of you. Please let us enjoy, celebrate, and let us support the people of Myanmar together. Thank you very much.
Dấu gấm tuấn bù bà loan á gấm dấu gấm khăn son tê loan á gấm dấu gấm mò đón lên mũi cái nay sóc bạc săn xíu xa dấu gấm tôn lên làm na dấu gấm dấu gấm gà lê sai na gấm dấu gấm nín giữ khoai giữ băng khu lên khoang tôi dây la ôi bu lê pa tên na gấm cô gấm vai gấm cái rừng giống nghìn cô lần nè mang in sung cả ôm giống in dấu ăn dấu in mà lưng đu li dấu ngày nào mà thấy dấu gầm gian mặn nhìn hồng man đi dấu gầm mưu bằng khen hồng ai ina đâm tươi luôn na gam bê lê phung tên na gam u lên nào khi chân đà dấu gam mơ kiến hồng tai san cây đi dấu gam mơ nơi khá nói hồng xe lửa
voice and sound. I'd like to stand here and to acknowledge the traditional owner of this land, in which we are gathering here, and we have opportunity to support the people who are struggling in Burma, and we pay our utmost respect to the past, present, and emerging leader. Today, right now, we're going to do silent tribute for those people who has been slaughtered and killed, murdered in Burma. Well, we are celebrating and doing some event right here. We know that for sure the people in Burma right now, their internet access has been cut off, and some of the area has been heavily attacked by the security forces. Until 10 p.m. yesterday, we see the report that there are more than 300 people has been named, but we know that 100 of people has been disappeared, and many security forces, they took the body to the hospital, and when they call their family, their body has been wrapped rubber plastic or your organ has been taken away. So they just go to the hospital or military station to pick up your body. This is what is happening. So may I invite everybody here, not just here, and all the back, can we please stand up for just 1 minute to silence? Thank you. You may be seated. And honorable members of the state member for Croydon, David Hodgie, and honorable Michael Sugar, member for Deakin, and minister for housing, assistant treasurer, and minister for homelessness, social and community housing. May I invite honorable Michael Sugar to deliver a speech.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Simon, for the introduction, and can I congratulate and thank the Burma Democracy Support Network for bringing together so many groups for this very important cause. And there's been a few remarks this morning about freedom. And freedoms that we enjoy here in Australia, freedoms that we quite rightly and thankfully take for granted. Freedoms of thought, expression, worship, assembly, freedoms to conduct our lives in peace. And these freedoms are not freedoms to be granted or taken away by military regimes or anyone. These freedoms are God-given, and they belong to every man, woman and child. The Australian government and myself personally condemn in the strongest possible terms the actions of the military regime in Myanmar. It is utterly unacceptable. Firstly, to have reversed so much of the good work in moving towards democracy, but now undertaking murders, violence, arbitrary arrests, so many insufferable actions and activities, and we absolutely condemn them in the strongest possible terms. We call on the military regime to immediately release all arbitrarily detained citizens, including Aung San Suu Kyi, Win Myint, and every other leading figure in Myanmar. Arbitrary detention is unacceptable anywhere. The Australian government condemns the military regime for these activities and these actions. And I can assure you and everybody here today and everybody watching that the Australian government has suspended a range of actions and activities that were previously underway with Myanmar, suspended them in light of the actions of the military regime. We are also looking very closely and considering a range of other sanctions that can be taken, particularly against individuals who are to blame for what is occurring right now in Myanmar. The difficulty with sanctions is we don't want to cease supporting with aid the citizens of Myanmar who need it most. So one thing we have done is we are ensuring that all aid that Australia is providing is being provided to non-government organisations or entities that cannot be impacted by the military regime, because it's important that that aid finds its way to the citizens of Myanmar and nowhere else. Can I say, at a personal level, I have so much sympathy for everybody here today all of our Burmese community locally, indeed throughout Australia, because I know, even though Australia is your home and you love Australia, that your love and your loyalty for your home country will never go away. And when actions and activities such as these occur in your home country, that they hurt you deeply and indeed they scar your community here locally. So can I assure you that from the federal government's perspective, we're working very closely with a number of partners in the region, quite large partners, ASEAN and others, to work on how we can cease the immediate violence which is being inflicted upon innocent men, women and children in Myanmar, but at a broader level, ensuring that the actions and activities we take now not only don't jeopardise but enhance the pathway, the inevitable pathway to democracy. And I say to the military regime, the pathway to democracy is inevitable because, as I said at the beginning, those freedoms that we all understand and we all speak about, they are God-given and they yearn. Every man and woman in Myanmar will yearn for those freedoms, and in that sense this struggle for democracy will never end. And I can assure everybody here today, the entire Australian Burmese community, that in that movement towards democracy and everything we need to do along the way to make that happen, Australia will support the people of Myanmar. And at a local level and at a personal level, you'll always have my support, and I know you'll always have the support of the Honourable David Hodgett, who will speak after me, who understand just how much of a wonderful community we have here and how wonderful Myanmar can truly be if the citizens of that country are given the opportunity, the freedoms and the rights that they deserve, that are God-given. And I promise you, we will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with you, with your family members at home, because the struggle for democracy can never end, and I can assure you the military regime in Myanmar, it will never end, and it's got a lot of support around the whole world, starting here in Australia. Thank you very much.
What an empowering speech, and always is reassuring when the Honourable Michael Sukars is here, and I always get encouraged by the words that you say, and it's always, it gives me future, and I know that you will always fight for the community of Burmese, and we're very thankful that we have you, and your presence here is very empowering and very strong always, and I'm sure we will see the light at the end of this tunnel, and the fight that we are suffering, we will see the light if we stand together. And I know that Australia and the government of Australia will fight for us as well. And we just have to be strong. We will see the light at the end. Now, I'd like to welcome cultural dance by Laudu Youth, and followed by a song from FBC, Sung and the team.
Kopala patala Palina Rosa over there Charlie me bong tena Ade calling the Ma cha pi pe tu se na mo ma le ching khư pa nga thu na ba
ma kho ni ta ma cha pi pa ti se na mo ma le ching khư pa nga thu na ba e le ching khư pa nga thu na ba de de vu ye chi chu pa ka ne ma cha pi pa ti se na mo ma le ching khư pa nga thu na ba e le ching khư pa nga thu na ba de de vu ye chi chu pa ka ne le ching khư pa nga thu na ba cho biết bao nhiêu sẽ nó mong mà lẽ trên cứ bằng ngã thu nó ba lẽ trên cứ bằng ngã thu nó ba để vô yên đi cho bằng cần nè ngã thu nó ba lẽ trên cứ bằng ngã thu nó ba lẽ trên cứ bằng ngã thu nó ba để vô yên đi cho bằng cần nè
Mong hay ta sun ở trong phải đi lệ chơi liên thà tang ca bang cần in bi sun to de anh chín lo gốc non già đô chim mi cần phiền lâu cần phun cần hồn mi phun khát cần sina để bất chán sun para để liền ngân nạp lăng tê chim ram chua chim lâu bar bằng ngày đô bất chán quân nề lăng chim mi cần đốt e ram đốt na yang ở không hay ta tu upa nanung na phèo na cân chân ba chán xa lệ chim làm xa tin chim mi nào thân thâu chim mi xin na cân nôn ai sẽ chỉ buồn chim lu sông mi chim ba xa tin anh ý đồ na phải chu ro na long bu đan nghe chim ba xin na cân phiền lâu chim ram sa tin chim mi nào na ăn đâu chim mi si ăn ăn ngon ai sẽ chỉ vui chim nu sông đi chim ba sa tin ăn ít đồ na phải chu hoa na long buồn ăn nhẹ chim pha si na cầm phiền lâu ba chén sa lệ chim ram sa tin chim mi nào na ăn đâu chim mi si ăn ăn ngon ai sẽ chỉ vui chim nu sông đi chim ba sa tin ăn đi đồ na phải chu hoa na long buồn ăn nhẹ chim pha si na cầm phiền lâu Sing dil delin ummi kan ram do te li ram dang he ta sun no ta lawe lang chok he le sen shi ni an thoa mi chin mi kan mi paran chuang khôn na chuang e ba chian ko song khoa vun chuan kik zi phi vun ran chan khin chung sing e thang chat be kan dai lui chung sing kan boy ni e kil ve se lo dai do nang ni nam mi lung a nom ter le yang ni mang boy sun parnak lang ter
chung ta đi le cho lian ta bang ba bang kan hin bi zum to ne hen chin lo na chuang e ba chian ko song qua vun chuan kik zi phi vun ran chan khin chung sing e thang chat pe kan dai lo e chung sing kan boy ni e kil ve se lo
na chuang e ba chian ko song khoa vun chuan kik zi thi vun ran chan khin chung sing e thang chat pe kan dai lo e chung sing kan boy ni e kil ve se lo ba thiên cha lên chin răng cha tin chin mi nào ngàn câu chin mi si đang ăn ngon ai sẽ chỉ buồn chin lu sông mi chin ba cha tin anh đồ đang phải chịu rồi đang lòng của thân mê chin pha si đang cầm kia lâu ba thiên cha lên chin răng cha tin chin mi nào ngàn câu chin mi si đang ăn ngon ai sẽ chỉ buồn chin lu sông mi chin ba cha tin anh đồ đang phải chịu rồi đang lòng của thân mê chin pha si đang cầm kia lâu
And now we're going to invite Honourables David Hodge, state member for Croydon, and Shadow Minister for Education, Early Childhood, Higher Education and Training and Skills to deliver a short speech. Well, thank you very much, and it is my great honour to be here today as part of the Free Burma fundraising event. And can I acknowledge all your community leaders and many of the familiar faces from in and around our community that work closely with the Burmese and Chin community. And Michael, can I in particular thank you for your words earlier. My good friend and colleague, Michael Suker, the member for Deakin. And Michael, on a personal note, can I thank not just the Australian government, but for all that you personally do in support and your advocacy work, supporting our local Burmese and Chin community. It really makes a difference. I'm here today in support of all of our Chin communities. As has been said earlier, I'm acutely aware of what's happening in Myanmar and the impact this is having across our Burmese communities across the country, across Victoria, and indeed here in our local communities out here in the east. Since the military coup on the 1st of February, all Chin communities have joined together and formed a network to support restoring democracy in Myanmar. I commend this network, the Burma Democracy Support Network, and the important work that you are doing in highlighting the issues and the injustices and what is going on over in Myanmar. What is happening over in Myanmar must be condemned. We heard earlier about the people that have been killed, about those that are missing or lost, and those that certainly have lost their lives. We must express our complete disapproval of this coup and restore democracy to Myanmar. Now, I made, on the 3rd of March, I made a speech in the Victorian Parliament in support of our Chin and Burmese communities
I know many have that, but I thought I would take the opportunity just to share that speech with you today of what I spoke in the Victorian Parliament in support of our Chin and Burmese communities on the 3rd of March. I rise today to speak on the situation still taking place in Myanmar. Since 1st of February, Myanmar has been without a democratically elected government as the nation lives under a military coup. The State Councillor, President and a number of leaders have been detained for nearly a month now, and that was back in March. Also detained is Australian academic Sean Turnell, whose whereabouts are still unknown. The situation is deeply concerning to Australia, which is a great supporter of returning democracy to Myanmar. Myanmar is a nation which struggled under military rule for many years following its independence in 1948. The democratic election of 2015 brought hope to a nation that was and still is desperately seeking democracy. The return to military rule is a step back from that goal. The Australian government, and indeed, again, my friend Michael Sukkar, has called for the release of the unlawfully detained leaders and for the military to respect the rule of law. The impact of this coup is being felt around the world, including by those of the Chin community in my electorate and the Australian Chin Communities Council. We must stand with and offer our support to the people of Myanmar and the Burmese communities here in Australia during these tough times. That's what I said in Parliament, and that's what I will continue to say in support of our local communities. Again, I'm here today to support the Burmese community here and in Victoria. I'm here to support and offer our strong advocacy and our strong support. I encourage you all to continue your efforts, and please reach out to me, to Michael, to any of us for anything you need. Free Burma.
And now I'd like to read the statement from the Honourable Tony Smith, Federal MP or Member for Casey. He couldn't be here because he already had some schedules and important meeting, and he couldn't come, and he sent a letter, and I'd like to read this statement. I'm sorry I cannot be with you today. Recent events in Myanmar are terribly concerning and distressing. It is encouraging to know that Burmese community members are gathering in support of family, friends, your former homeland. As you will be aware, the Australian government has raised its grave concern over the military coup in Myanmar, the escalating violence, and for the lives lost. On behalf of every Australian, the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister have condemned the use of lethal force or violence against civilians, exercising their universal rights, including the right to freedom of expression and peaceful assembly. The Australian government continues to work with international partners, particularly ASEAN, in support of the Myanmar people. Thank you.
What she said. She went to the Federation Square for Myanmar, the country, and she said, I am writing the history. I will be part of this democracy. You and I are part of this democracy fight. One day we will look back this day, the very day that we stand here, the very ground that you stand here. You will say, I am part of this democracy fight. You are the reason for our country's democracy. You and I are very important. My friend, your money, even $10 or $5 that you have paid today will make a great difference to the country that you're fighting for. The democracy, one day you will look back and be really proud of. Say that I, myself, are part of this democracy, part of the country. You know, we've been blessed with a car, a country that welcome you, and blessed with a housing and everything. And open up. Unfortunately, we don't open a MasterCard. We don't accept a MasterCard here. However, if you looked around, there'll be boxes. If you want to withdraw your money from the bank, you're more than welcome to do so. But it'll have to be cash. We don't accept MasterCard. But The money that you paid today, you will look back, you will be proud of it. My friends, $5 don't make any difference in our life in Australia because we've been blessed it. Please do your donation for the country. Stand for our country. And now I'd like to invite the dance from Mizo culture. It's called Chait Lam. So this will be followed by chanting in both English and Burmese.
Thank you, everybody. We have the airport there in the food tent, so you can pay by bank card, and you can definitely you can use a cash. And now at the end of the sessions, we thank everybody today who come here and enjoy the first sessions. We have the live performance. It's going to be start maybe after 20 minutes after the first sessions, and don't go home. Maybe invite more friends. We're going to use the live performance until 3 o'clock. But for all the people, it's not easy to sit here in the in a very sunny light to be maybe until 3 o'clock. And we thank you. Your presence is big meaningful for every one of us here. And now the chanting we're going to do is when I say save Myanmar, and everybody will say now, now. So this is the chanting we do in the city. This is the chanting we do in the General Consulate Republic of China in the city. So let me tell you, this military coup, they have support. They have help. The military leader, they have help, support from China. We know it. We know this. Because when the military announced that there is no international flight until the end of April, at the very beginning, the Chinese official sent the flight every night. When the military cut off internet from 9 to the next morning 9, there are 5 or 6 flights. So the people who work in the airport, they are very furious and angry, and they took the picture. And there are many local technicians who can record it. There are Yangon and Kunming from China. They are international flight until now.
So what they are doing is just to help. What do we want? Democracy! Democracy! Yes, twice. Okay? What do we want? Democracy! Democracy! What do we need? Justice! Justice! What do we need? Justice! Justice! Yes, justice for those who has been murdered and slaughtered. You have to be serious. We have to be serious, okay? Now, very important. Say again. What do we want? Democracy! Democracy! Get louder at the back. What do we want? Democracy! Democracy! What do we need? Justice! Justice! Yes. What do we need? Justice! Justice! Save Myanmar! Now! Save Myanmar! Now! Save Myanmar! Now! What do we want? What do we need? Justice! Justice! Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And we're going to invite one of our leader, Pyang, to deliver a word of thanks. And enjoys the rest of the time. So we're going to have a live performance. The food's there, the clothes there. And everything today that you spend the money will go to support people who has been fighting the military regime. So a penny of your money is meaningful and helpful for every one of us here. Thank you.
Democracy for Burma. So thank you everyone coming here today. And special thanks to our special guest, the Honorable David Hodgett, the Honorable Michael Suka. And I also would like to thank the government of Australia for their continued support for democracy in Burma, and I would like to encourage them to continue doing that because we have just started. There are a lot more work to be done. That is also true for this democracy support network because as you can see today, we represent quite a lot of community groups, but there are still more community groups that we need to include and work with. So that's something that we need to work together. We need to reach out. It's not something that just a subset of groups can achieve. If we all work together, we'll achieve. That's what the Honorable Michael Suka advised us also. Not today, but yesterday, right? For today's event, I'd like to thank Pastor Nguyen Thong Lien, who's the coordinator, who led us, and he was working day and night to organize this. And also Simon, he's full of energy. I don't know if he sleeps at night. And all the community leaders and participants, and Joe P, I'm not sure he's here, who advanced the expenses for today's event because nothing is free. We need to pay for it, and Joe P pay for it, and hopefully we get the money back to pay him back. I'd also like to thank all the volunteers, the chef and the cooks, and people who donated clothes and all other items. Finally, I'd like to thank everyone again for coming here. And as we said before, don't go home without contributing. You are here. Your presence is very much appreciated, but we also need your money. Thank you.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ တော်ကြောက်လို့မတက်တာမဟုတ်ပါဘူးနည်းနည်းရှင်းလို့ဒါနဲ့အခုချိန်မှာကျွန်တော်အရှင်းနေတဲ့တုံးလုံးပြောက်ကုန်ကဘာပြောင်းလဲကျွန်တော်အော်ချင်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ်နော်ဟုတ်လားကျွန်တော်ရှိတဲ့ကူရီရောအတိုင်းသားတီတီရောကဘာတီအောင်အော်ကြမယ်အကုန်လုံးအော်ကြမယ်ရေတော်ဘုံအောင်ရမယ်အောင်ရမယ်ရေတော်ဘုံရေတော်ဘုံအောင်ရမယ်အောင်ရမယ်တော့ဘယ်မတာရီကြီးရလာဟဲ့ကြီးရကြီးရတော့ဘယ်မချင်းကြီးရလာဟဲ့ကြီးရကြီးရတော့တိုင်းတာရီကြီးရလာဟဲ့ကြီးရကြီးရပေတူအာနာပေတူပေတူအာနာပေတူပေတူစေယုပေတူပေတူစေယုပေတူပေတူဟပ်ပြောင်းတီပေတူပေတူပလာနာပေတူရေတော်ဘုံအောင်ရမယ်အောင်ရမယ်ရေတော်ဘုံအောင်ရမယ်အောင်ရမယ်တော့တိုင်းတာရီငယ်လာဟဲ့ကြီးရကြီးရတော့တိုင်းတာရီငယ်လာဟဲ့ကြီးရကြီးရမဲလ်ဘန်တာရီငယ်လာဟဲ့ကြီးရကြီးရမင်းအောင်လိုက်အာနာယူမင်းအောင်လိုက်အာနာယူစစ်အာဏာရှင်ကြဆောင်ရေးတော်ရေးစစ်အာဏာရှင်ကြဆောင်ရေးတော်ရေးပြည်သူအာဏာပြည်သူပြပေးပြည်သူအာဏာပြည်သူပြပေးရေရပေါ်အောင်ရမယ်ရေရပေါ်အောင်ရမယ်တပိုက်ဘောဆန္ဒပြဟိုက်စာပြီးဆိုပြည်သူပလာနာပြည်သူပြပေးပြည်သူပလာနာပြည်သူပြပေးပြည်သူအာဏာပြည်သူပြပေးကြဆုံးသွားတဲ့ကောင်းဆောင်များချက်ချင်းလက်ပါစီသားတဲ့ကောင်းဆောင်များချက်ချင်းလက်တပိုက်ရေရပေါ်အောင်ရမယ်ရေရပေါ်အောင်ရမယ်တပိုက်စစ်အာဏာရှင်ကြဆုံးရေးစစ်အာဏာရှင်ကြဆုံးရေးတပိုက်မင်းအောင်လိုက်ရုံမတက်နဲ့စစ်အာဏာရှင်ကြဆုံးရေးတပိုက်ဆန္ဒအားလုံးအားရရလားအားရတယ်အားကြအောင်နော်ဒီပါလီမန်တေရီယန်ကိုတော်ပြီးဖြစ်ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့18ရက်နေ့နဲ့18ရက်နေ့ပါလီမန်ထဲကိုသွားခဲ့ပါတယ်ဖက်ဒရယ်ပါလီမန်ထဲကိုဖက်ဒရယ်ပါလီမန်ကိုသွားတဲ့အခါမှာလေဘာပါတီရောလစ်ဘရယ်ပါတီရောပြီးတော့တခြားကျွန်တော်တို့ Green ပါတီရပါဥပ္ပလောအမတ်20ကျော်နဲ့တွေ့ခဲ့ပါတယ်ပါလီမန်တူလော်ဘီဖြစ်ကိုသွားတာကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီက9ယောက်စစ်ပေါ်ပြီးသွားပါတယ်ဗစ်တိုးရီယာဘက်က3ယောက်Northern Territory တယောက်စစ်နီယာတယောက်သွားပါတယ်သွားတဲ့အခါမှာကျွန်တော်တို့အဓိကတောင်းဆိုတဲ့ချက်3ချက်ရှိပါတယ်အားလုံးလည်းမှာအဓိကကြပထမအဓိကကြတဲ့ချက်ကတော့ CRPH ကိုဩစတြေးလျအစိုးရအနေနဲ့တော့တရားဝင်လက်ခံပေးဖို့ဒုတိယအချက်ကတော့မြန်မာပြည်ထဲမှာစစ်အစိုးရကနေပြီးတော့ကျူးလွန်နေတဲ့ crimes against humanity စစ်အစိုးရကနေပြီးတော့ပြည်သားတွေကိုတပ်ဖြတ်နေတဲ့အားတွေအတွက်ကိုအရေးယူပေးဖို့တတိယအချက်ကကြတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမှာရှိနေကြတဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမှာပြည်ကနေပြီးတော့ရောက်လာကြတဲ့လူတွေပြန်လို့မရတဲ့လူတွေရှိတယ်အဲ့ဒီတွေအတွက်ကိုတက်နိုင်တဲ့ဘက်ကနေပြီးတော့ကြိုးစားပြီးတော့လုပ်ပေးကြဖို့နောက်ပြီးတော့ Australia အစိုးရအနေနဲ့သူတို့ Quad country တွေရဲ့နောက်ပြီးလို့ရှိရင် European Union ရဲ့ US ရဲ့ပေါင်းပြီးတော့မြန်မာပြည်ထဲမှာဒီထိထိရောက်ရောက်အရေးယူပေးဖို့ဆိုပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့တောင်းဆိုခဲ့ပါတယ်အဲ့ဒီထဲမှာဝါသာစရာစကားတစ်ခုကိုကျွန်တော်ပြောပြမယ်အဲ့တော့ Australia Parliamentarian တွေကမလုပ်လဲဆိုတော့သူတို့ Parliamentarian Friends of Myanmar ကိုသူတို့ပြန်လည်ပြီးတော့ဖွဲ့စည်းပေးမယ်လို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ပြောပြပါတယ်အဲ့တော့ Parliamentarian Friends of Myanmar ကိုဖွဲ့ပြီးတဲ့အခါမှာ CRPH ကိုတရားဝင်ဆက်သွယ်ပြီးတော့သူတို့စကားပြောမယ်ဆွေးနွေးမယ်လို့ပြောပါတယ်တရားကတော့ CRPH နဲ့သူတို့ဆက်သွယ်ပြီးတဲ့အခါမှာ Inter-Parliamentary Union ကိုရှေ့ဆက်သွယ်ပြီးတော့မြန်မာစစ်အစိုးရပေါ်မှာထိရောက်တဲ့ရေးယူဆောင်ရွက်မှုတွေဆက်လုပ်မယ်လို့ပြောပါတယ်အဲ့တော့အဲ့ဒီကမှာနောက်ထပ်အဓိကကြတာလည်းရှိပါတယ်အဲ့ဒါဘာလဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင် Australia အစိုးရအနေနဲ့ထိထိရောက်ရောက်ရေးယူလို့ရတဲ့ကိစ္စတွေသူတို့ရေးယူတော့မှုရှိပါတယ်ဥပမာ
စစ်ဆိုးရဘက်ကလူရဲ့ဗီဇာပိတ်ပင်ဖို့စစ်ဆိုးရဘက်ကရှိနေတဲ့စီးပွားရေးတွေကိုပိတ်ပင်ဖို့စစ်ဆိုးရဘက်ကနေပြီးတော့သူတို့နဲ့သက်ဆိုင်တဲ့စီးပွားရေးလုပ်နေတဲ့လူတွေကိုဖိအားပေးပြီးတော့သူတို့ကိုတော့တက်နိုင်တဲ့ဘက်ကနေပြီးတော့ဒီမှာပြန်လက်ထပ်ပေါင်းနိုင်ဖို့သူတို့စီးပွားရေးကိုရေးလို့တော့သူတို့ဆက်လက်ပြီးတော့စဉ်းစားဆောင်ရွက်သွားမယ်လို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ပြောပါတယ်အဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်ဒီမှာပြောလိုတာကတော့အားလုံးကျွန်တော်တို့စုစုစည်းစည်းနဲ့လုပ်လို့ရှိရင်အကုန်လုံးအောင်မြင်နိုင်ပါတယ်အောင်မြင်ရမယ်အဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့စုစုစည်းစည်းနဲ့လုပ်ကြအောင်ပါခင်ဗျာအဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်ဘာလို့နားမလည်တဲ့လူရှိလို့ရှိရင်ကျွန်တော်အင်္ဂလိပ်လိုတစ်လုံးလုံးတော့ပြောလို့ရတယ်I would like to say a few words in English so that those who doesn't understand Burmese might understand what I'm saying. So we want to the parliamentary lobbying trip to federal parliament on the 16th, 17th and 18th of March. We met over 20 parliamentarians from Liberal, Labour and Green. So all our requests are well received. So we make a request that Australian government should recognize CRPH, which is the only legislative government and legislative body, which is the only elected groups in Burma. And then they said they will be formed or restart the parliamentarian fronts of Myanmar. After that, they will be contacting CRPH officially and will have a meeting. After that, they will be join hand together with Inter-Parliamentary Union and will put effective pressure on the military regime. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. ကျွန်တော်တခုမဲလို့ရလားဆရာကျွန်တော်မဲရှာရှိလို့မဲလို့ရလားမဲရှာရှိမဲလို့ရပါခင်ဗျာကျွန်တော်ဘာမှစကားတော့တိတ်မချက်ဘူးဒါနဲ့သူနားလေအောင်တော့ကျွန်တော်ပြောလို့ရပါတယ်လို့ကျွန်တော်မဲချင်တာတခုကတော့မနေ့ကကျွန်တော်တို့ကြားရတာကင်မရာမှာပေါ့နော်တာနမကြီးအခုဆိုကျွန်တော်တို့တာနမကြီးလို့ခေါ်တော့မင်းအောင်ဟာရဲ့ဘောမှာလို့နော်တန်းအောင်ဝိနော်တန်းအောင်ဝိတို့ဒီစီထဲမှာဝင်ဖို့ကျွန်တော်ကြားရတယ်လို့၄ခါလောက်ဖြစ်တယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဟိုပြန်တပိတ်တော့မဟုတ်ပြီးတော့ခဏတိုက်သူနေလို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကြားရတယ်မနေ့ကလည်းသူကဖက်မလာဘူးအဲ့ဒါကိုမနေ့ကသူတို့ကင်မရာမှာတပိတ်မောက်ချင်တာနောက်ဆုံးသူ့အတွက်ဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုတော့သူကဘာမှတုံ့ပြန်မှုမရှိလို့ရှိရင်ဗမာမြန်မာ community ပေါ့ကွာဒါဘယ်လိုပြီးတော့ဆက်လက်အရေးယူမှာလဲဘယ်လိုမျိုးလောက်ဆောင်နိုင်မလဲသူ့အတွက်အဲ့ဒါလေးကျွန်တော်နည်းနည်းလေးပြောပြလို့ပါကျေးဇူးပါအဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်အဲ့ဒီအဖြေကိုမဖြေခင်မှာနောက်ခံလေးနည်းနည်းလေးတော့ပြောပြပါမယ်ဟုတ်ပြီကျွန်တော်တို့ပထမဆုံးမြန်မာပြည်မှာဆရာနာရှင်စနစ်ကနေပြီးတော့အာဏာစတင်ပြီးသိမ်းတဲ့အခါမှာတန်ရုံးကိုကျွန်တော်တို့နီးစပ်ရနေတဲ့ပုံစံထားပါတယ်ပုံစံပြီးတော့ဦးတောင်ရဲ့သဘောထားလေးပါသူရှိရဘာမှပြန်လာတာမရှိပါဘူးဒါကြောင့်မြန်မာတန်ရုံးကိုစာပို့ပါတယ်သူ့ရဲ့သဘောထားကိုလေးပါတယ်ဘာမှပြန်လာပါဘူးတတိယကျင်းမြန်မာ community တွေအနေနဲ့စာရေးတယ်ပြီးလို့ရှိရင်လက်မှတ်တွေကောက်ပြီးတော့သူရှိပို့ပါတယ်အဲ့ဒီချိန်မှာဦးတောင်အောင်ကဘာလုပ်လာလဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သူတို့တန်ရုံးကဗီဇာကိစ္စတွေအတွက်ကိုဆက်ပြီးတော့အလုပ်ဆက်လုပ်နေတယ်2008ခုနှစ်အခြေခံဥပဒေအရဆက်ပြီးတော့သွားနေပါတယ်လို့သူကပြောလာအဲ့ဒီစာကိုဒီမှာပြောရနေဖို့ပဲနဲ့မြန်မာပြည်ထဲကိုလည်းပို့ပါအဲ့တော့2008ခုနှစ်အခြေခံဥပဒေရေး2008ခုနှစ်အခြေခံဥပဒေအရဆက်လက်ပြီးလုပ်နေတယ်ဆိုတာကကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမိုစီရေးဘက်ကတော့2008ခုနှစ်အခြေခံဥပဒေအရ2020မှာရွေးကောက်တင်မြှောက်ခံထားတဲ့ပြည်သူ့အစိုးရဖြစ်တယ်2008ခုနှစ်အခြေခံဥပဒေအရပဲစစ်တပ်ကအာဏာသိမ်းရတယ်လို့ပြောပါအဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကသူ့ကိုနောက်တစ်ခေါက်အခွင့်အရေးပေးမယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့နောက်ထပ် petition ရေးပါတယ်အဲ့ဒါဥတာညောင်းအောင်ညင်ခင်ဗျာကျွန်တော်တို့ခြံစည်းရိုးပေါ်မှာတော့ခွာပြီးမထိုင်နေပါနဲ့2008ဆိုတာကဒီမိုစီဘက်ကပြည်သူဘက်ကလားစစ်ကွဲတဲ့ဘက်ကလားကျွန်တော်တို့ကတော့တိတိကျကျပြောပါပြန်လာပါဘူးဘာမှကျွန်တော်တို့အဲ့ချိန်မှာလက်မှတ်ဝိုင်းလို့တော့နီးဇီလန်ရောအော်စတြေးလျရောလက်မှတ်တွေကိုတောက်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ပုံပေးခဲ့ပါတယ်ဘာမှပြန်လာခဲ့ပါအဲ့တော့စတော့ကြအနေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဘာလုပ်လဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အော်စတြေးလျအစိုးရကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ပြီးခဲ့တဲ့တစ်လလောက်တော့တွေ့ပါတယ်သူ့ပါလီမန်တေးရွက်တွေသွားတွေ့ပြီးတော့တန်ရုံးကို ဆက်ဆံနေတဲ့ CRPH ကပြုတဲ့ကိုယ်စားလှယ်ကိုပဲဆက်ဆံဖို့ကျွန်တော်တို့တွားရောက်ပြီးတော့မိကြရဲခံခဲ့ပါအဲ့တော့မနေ့ကလည်းကျွန်တော်တို့တွားပြီးတော့တိုင်ရုံးရှိမှာဆန္ဒပြအဲ့ဒါကတော့ဗာလဲဆိုတော့သူကပြောထားတဲ့စကားတစ်ခုရှိပါပြောထားတာအများကြီးပေါ့အဲ့ဒါရေးကြည့်တာတစ်ခုပေါ့တစ်ခုကတော့တော့အောင်ဆန်းစုကြည်ဖတ်ထားတဲ့တန်မှတ်ဖြစ်တယ်နော်ဒုတိယတစ်ခုကတော့အောင်ဆန်းစုကြည်ရဲ့ပြည်သူလူထုကိုသူအများနဲ့တစ္ဆာခံပါတယ်လို့ပြောတယ်အဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကနောက်ဆုံးချိန်နဲ့သူ့ကို chance ထပ်ပေးခြင်းတယ်အဲ့တော့စာကိုတိုင်ရုံးရှိကိုသွားမယ်တိုင်မကြီးအနေနဲ့ထွက်လာပြီးတော့နောက်ဆုံးချိန်ပေါ့နော်ဘာဖြစ်လို့လဲဆိုတော့ပြည်တွင်းမှာက CDN ကိုအရင်တော့ကတော့ပိတ်လိုက်တယ် CDN ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့နောက်ဆုံးချိန်ဒီလတွင်ဝင်မှာနောက်လာလူတွေလက်မခံဘူးဆိုပြီးတော့ဒါပေမဲ့ပြည်တွင်းမှာလူကလည်းတန်း90ကျော်လောက်ရှိတယ်လူသမားတွေကလည်းအများကြီးရှိတဲ့အခါကျတော့ chance ပေးထားတယ်ပေါ့နော်ထပ်လာဖို့အဲ့တော့နောက်ဆုံးချိန်မှာသူလာမှာကျွန်တော်တို့စိုးရိမ်ဒါကြောင့်မနေ့ကနောက်ဆုံးချိန်ပေါ့ဦးတောင်အောင်ညွတ်ပြည်သူဘက်ကရက်တည်ခြင်းလာပါပြည်သူဘက်ကမလိုက်ဖဲနဲ့စစ်ခွေးတွေဘက်ကသွားနေမယ်ဆိုရင်တော့မလာပါနဲ့ပေါ့အဲ့တော့မနေ့ကသူမလာပါဘူးခင်ဗျအဲ့တော့မလာတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်စစ်ခွေးတွေဘက်ကရက်တယ်ဆိုတာကတော့တိတိလင်းလင်းဖြစ်သွားပါပြီအဲ့တော့ဒီကိုမေးထားတဲ့မြေကွန်းကဦးတောင်အောင်ညွတ်ပြည်သူဘက်ကကျွန်တော်တို့နဲ့အတူတူမရက်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်ဘာလို့မလဲပေါ့အဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အနေနဲ့ဒီနေ့ကစပြီးတော့အားလုံးကဘာလို့စီစဉ်လဲအဲ့ဒီပေါ်မှာပြက်ပြက်သားသားလုပ်လို့ရပါပြီတခုစဉ်းစားထားတာကတော့ social punishment ဖြစ်ပါတယ်အဲ့ဒါဘာလဲဆိုလို့ရှိရင် Facebook တွေကနေပြီးတော့ဦးတောင်ညွန့်ကစစ်ခွေးတွေကိုထောက်ခံတဲ့လူတွေဖြစ်တယ်မြန်မာပြည်သူလူထုကိုထောက်ခံတဲ့လူမဖြစ်ဘူးဆိုတာ Facebook တွေကျွန်တော်တို့နီးစပ်ရတယ်အဲ့လိုဝိုင်းပြောဖို့ဖြစ်ပါတယ်ကျေးဇူးပါ
Wow! Thank you.